to get there.
Right. We have one more elected official to hear from. This is the senior senator from Staten Island, actually the senior elected official in the entire country, John Markey, who has represented Staten Island since 1956. John Markey.
You know what you're asking me to do? You're asking me, you're making an offer to me that I can't refuse, and to the people of Staten Island. I mean, the mathematics have to work because of the intensive use that would be made of this excellent opportunity. And with the problems that are going to be developing and getting worse and worse and worse for some years, unless we have this, the people of Staten Island are in a real mess that want to get in and out. I'm very, very pleased that Senator DiCarlo is also firmly persuaded and is helping in this effort, which goes a long way with the Senate and our Assembly people, Betty Connolly and Eric Vitiliano and Bob Strinier. Everybody feels that we have an excellent opopportunity to sweeten the pains that will go with the construction that's going on. It's going to. I think that it's entirely doable, and we should make every effort to make sure that nothing is deprived. You're not deprived of the weapons that you need to bring this about.
Thank you very much, Senator Markey. We appreciate it very much.
That's Senator John Markey, the senior senator from Staten Island. And as we go to the next member of our audience, we'd like to get, Stu, if you could get page 14 back up here behind us on the screen. Next audience member.
Okay, let's get a camera on her. Fred, you got her?
All right, my name is Margaret. My question, if we do get the $2 fare and we take the expresses, will they still try to put them through the Lincoln Tunnel, even though we make it the express lanes also on the bridge and the Gowanus?
Good question. Very good. Thank you.
I think the answer is that we have to sit down with the people at the Transit Authority and say to them, and we've done this actually, we have to come up with a plan, and I think we can do this together, the passengers working with the people that work in our system. We have to come up with a plan that says whatever works best is what we should do. So for example, if the best way to get to Midtown Manhattan is the Lincoln Tunnel, then that's what we should do. If the best way is to build a pontoon bridge to Manhattan, then that's what we should do. But the bottom line is I think that all these things are possible and doable as long as we continue this dialogue and work together. Jim, do we have another audience member, or should we go to the phone?
I think your bus driver wants to speak again.
Okay, right ahead.
Hi, Jim. Are you nervous?
No, not at all. Someone told me a long time ago that if you talk about things with a storyline connected to it, you have a little bit more of a memory behind it. And a little story that I have is my daughter coming home a few years ago from her prom and stating how terrible that things were and how bad the food was and how bad this was and how bad that was. And I remember saying to her, let me ask you a question. I said, did you join the certain groups that were putting together the decorations and the other things involved with the prom? And she said no. And I remember saying to her, I didn't think you had a right to complain. What I'd like to say to the Staten Islanders tonight is, it's not over till it's over, and the height of insanity is to do the same thing every day and expect different results. We need to keep on keeping on with this thing until Larry Hanley gets on CTV or regular TV and says, we won. That's my feeling on that issue.
Thank you. This is regular TV.
Ah, you're live on the air.
Hi, my name is Harriet Lorenzo from Dungan Hills.
Hi, Harriet.
I commend you on all and everybody that what they're trying to do. But you know the old saying, nobody knows what you go through unless you go through it yourself. Well, they should take the mayor and let him come to Staten Island and go travel every day for 1 month. I guarantee you, you get what you want.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. She's right. Hi, you're live on the air.
Hi, my name is Regina. I'm calling from Dungan Hills, and I have 2 questions. The first one is there's a great deal of trucks that go across the bridge to Manhattan. Is there any way that the number of trucks on the road can be reduced?
Sure.
2 questions.
Yeah, I'll give you, oh, you have 2 questions. Well, that's question 1. The answer is, and I think John can talk about this too, but we're running out of time. All over the world, there are many cities, for instance, Singapore, I think, is one of them, that limit truck traffic, that limit car traffic. that favor mass transit. The bottom line is this city and this region, and particularly in this borough, we have done nothing at all to favor people getting into mass transit and getting to work more quickly.
It's the other way around,
Right.
really. It's the fare and toll policies are set up to encourage truck and car traffic to jam things up right when everybody's trying to get around. And
Right.
some of the cases Larry mentioned, they have truck traffic coming into the city at certain periods of day, and it's just a question of managing the roadway system in an effective way so not everybody's trying to do everything at once.
Also, there are other alternatives that they can use to try and mitigate that traffic. But why don't you give us a second question?
The other one is, how long will it take the Gowanus under construction? How many years?
We hear 10 years, but it's been put off by 3 years already, so we're really not sure. But it could go on for long past our lifetimes.
That's all.
Yeah, like the Manhattan Bridge.
Thanks for your call.
Thank you.
Okay, hi, you're on the air?
Yes, I take an express bus. I take the 20X. I've been taking it for over 15 years. My question is, if you do lower the, which I think is a great idea, $2, if you do lower the rates, does that mean you're going to be taking away more express buses, or, you know, because as it is, they took away 2 20Xs.
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, we believe that, for example, you probably have empty seats on your bus, and if those seats were filled, that would be more revenue to the transit authority.
Well,
but
yes, a lot of people have stopped taking it because it's there.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
I just want to throw something in, interject this idea that every time the subway fare has gone up since 1948, the TA loses riders. So it's an inverse formula. And in fact, if the fare went down, presumably you would be gaining riders, having people leave their cars at home.
Well, that's for sure, because when the fare was lower, we had much more riders. Now that people will take the ferry in or come home by the ferry or go in by the express bus, you know, because the bus is much emptier because of the fare raise.
Right. Thanks for your call. We have any other? We're running out of time. First, I want to say that this has been a great time for me. It certainly, I think it's been a good time for the folks in the audience. And I want to thank everybody for coming here. We have a plan, kind of a political plan to make all these things work. And we're going to be reaching out again and again to the people who ride our buses. You're going to be getting leaflets from us. We would really like to do this, though. What we'd really like to do is get a mailing list so that we can reach all of our riders. Right now, we're up to around 2,500 of our express riders. So if you can, drop us a line at 40 Yukon Avenue, Staten Island, New York, or call us at 718-698-7700. And if we can't get to the phones, because the phones here have been locked up all night, thousands of calls appear to be coming in. We'll be happy to get back to you and put you on our mailing list and keep in touch with you. Also, just a few things I want to note. You'll be seeing some of this in the Staten Island Advance, both in news stories as well as in advertising that our members are paying for. On September 12th, we're going to be calling a meeting of our passengers, and we'll be reaching out to you on CTV and through the newspapers to let you know the location. We're working on a location now. Also, on September the 19th, we're going to be taking that letter behind me up to City Hall to do a press conference to bring it to the mayor and the governor's attention. Many other events. This is all about working together with the public. Our members, your bus drivers and maintenance workers are reaching out and saying, let's work together. And I'm getting the signal that we're out of time. We have 1 minute or less? We have 1 minute. We have to wrap up. John, would you like to throw your 2 cents in at this point?
Well, Larry, I really appreciate being here. I had a great time. And unfortunately, we're in a period where innovations and good things don't tend to come from government. They tend to come from the grassroots and people getting organized. And Staten Island transit riders have a huge advantage, and it's the ATU Local on Staten Island, because it's organizing for better service. And people need to use that and get involved in the campaign. And this is a winnable thing. People can make this happen.
Thank you, John. Jim, before we
Quick
wrap
thought,
up.
1961, the city raised the real estate taxes by $98 a year. This was before the Verrazano Bridge, and 5,000 Staten Islanders went to City Hall to protest before there was a bridge. So I think we have a great group here of, 2,500 people that you can expand on. Sure. And the squeaky wheel does get the grease. And we have to start being a little squeakier.
So watch for us. We'll be in the shopping centers throughout the fall, and we'll be mailing and writing and on the buses. Thanks again for joining us tonight, and welcome to the campaign for a $2 bus fare. Good night.